Welcome back to the lounge. Woo! First playoff series, first 5-game series.
Winner take. Not all, because you fall loser.
There's a loser's bracket. There's a lot more games to win before you end up going to finals. But hey, 1 game left to play in this series. We don't know side select yet. They did a lot of those. The LCS staff has
Yes.
That's amazing.
It's great.
It's pretty amazing.
Sorry for throwing it on the ground.
You know what else is amazing? TSM winning Game 4. Let's take a look at how they managed to pull this one off, because I think a lot of people after those last 2 games were thinking
it was the Rumble.
It was the Rumble.
And it was also the Sejuani. I think taking away Sejuani made top lane a bit more stable. I think Hauntzer actually showed a really good lane in the first Rumble versus Jax game. But this one, with the Sejuani on his side, I think Miss Pig and him kind of smurfed the top side.
I do think that EG was borderline disrespectful with this draft.
Yes.
Jax into the Rumble is not a good lane. Yes, they were able to win on before. And then the Yone 5-pick when Set is already showing, just stacking melees into Set. Not a very good pick. I think definitely an ego pick for Jojo when he got punished.
Huge out of TSM to be able to put him down. I also like getting the Tristana into Insanity's hands. You see how good he can be. The entirety of TSM has been very proactive this entire series, and just finding ways to break them out of these situations is huge.
Yeah, and like this is one of those rare moments where you do have to talk about draft pretty extensively, because now I wonder what the actual priority is for Evil Geniuses. Like, are they a flexible team really? The Ari games were something that consistently Jojopyun went towards, but then this was the one game where I'm like, perfect. We talked about it within the draft. It's either going to be Azir. They were hovering over the Victor. Pretty much you can go anything as long as it's range. But they actually went completely against that. So I wonder if it was just an ego game and they move into an X1 in Game 5.
Yeah, like Xayah, Rakan, and Poppy want to play kind of a front-to-back absorb comp, and then you have Yone and Jax. I don't know what they're supposed to do in this game. I don't think Yone really has any good targets this game. He has 2 AD carries just to worry about, and then Set obviously counter-engaging. So I think as long as they draft on the same theme for EG, they will have a better game. Yeah, the R5 this game didn't work out for Jojo.
That brings us to one of the problems they have to solve, because they are going back to red side. That means that you have this potential again for Hauntzer in the 2nd and 3rd position to grab Rumble. This has been 2 very good Rumble games out of him, and it doesn't feel like we've seen a great answer. As you already said, Jax is not really it. Even though he ended up losing Game 2, he still was actually massively ahead in CSD. It was these skirmishes around him were not going well, and that's how Revenge was able to get his gold.
And Rumble is just such a powerful champion. Like, it gives you so much zone control with the ultimate, and we were already kind of praising Hauntzer, not only for how he was doing in lane, but also his ultimates in some of those team fights, right? Until EG took over the game, they were looking really, really good. And Rumble is just such a strong pick that I think EG should consider taking it off the table or picking it for themselves.
Yeah, and also just with Insanity's champ pool, having 80 carries on mid with Rumble just makes it such a powerful pairing. I think Rumble by itself is not insanely strong. You can match it with some lane counters, but having Rumble and then having Tristana and a really strong AD carry as well, it kind of just brings a lot more pressure in the draft. And I think it's just Hauntzer's best carry, so if I'm EG, I just ban it and put him on a tank again.
Yeah, and I think Game 5 is also a time where a lot of teams just end up simplifying and going back to as much comfort as possible. And I actually do wonder what TSM thinks of Insanity's comfort, because we've seen him excel on AD carries.
Yeah.
Lucian was the win, Tristana was the win, and when he first came into the LCS to split, it was Graves. Like, all of his big moments, aside from that like one LeBlanc game where he built an AD carry out of Static Shiv, he's been playing AD carry. So I do hope that they build a comp around that. So that's where Sejuani, Maokai would be really big if the Rumble is banned to still have some level of AP threat. Like, I think TSM can get actually really narrow with what they have, and getting Insanity on an AD carry who can push would be my highest priority if I'm Revan.
Yeah, that sounds like good stuff out of them. For EG, I do think the Rel ban was a bit of a superfluous one, and if you're not going to take Rumble in the 1-2 position because you're hard locked on Xayah Rakan, then getting rid of that instead of the Rel feels more impactful. Bugi has been great on Rel, not a shot at him, but it feels like Bugi onto his 2nd champion, Sejuani, is not as big of a drop as what Hauntzer to his 2nd champion might be.
Yeah, you know what? Boogie's just great. That's the takeaway. You know what? Doesn't matter what champion he's on, it's doing well. And so, like, that's the fear. You know, I always think about, like, player of the series. Who would be the player of the series? Who's playing the best? And it definitely feels like it's Bugi who's been able to find setups in the early game for his team. The gank that he had top lane that was successful, or at least the dive, I suppose. The play that he made through mid lane. Like, he has been doing a lot to, A, put Sheiden behind early that we saw in the game before this. That resulted in a loss, but whatever. That's not on him. And in their wins, find picks that gets Hauntzer ahead. So I've been loving it. And another plus to Hauntzer is that I actually think his Rumble mechanics are great. The ultis, even in his loss that we showcased, like, they were great ultis that didn't result in a kill immediately, and so it ended up finding good angles for Evil Geniuses later on in the game. So definite ban on that pick.
Yeah, for me, for TSM, it's about mid-jungle. So obviously, as we already talked about, getting Insanity on an AD carry or something where he has push in lane. And that is what allows for Bugi to be a lot more creative, right? We saw this with Bugi Maple as well, and giving something Insanity where he can just push out and then join up, roam to sides, etc. I know going a little bit away from the AD carries, I know he's also a TF player. I would love to see that out of either of these mids, actually, if the draft was right. I think another thing we have to talk about with this TSM team is, once again, re-hitting on where we expected them to be at the beginning of the split. And also now that they're pushing EG, a team that most of us, save Mark for his interesting predictions, expected to win this series pretty handily, as in EG has to mess up for TSM to take a game, right? I don't think that's happened at all. I think TSM have put forward now 2 very good, strong games.
Yeah, I think it's especially worth noting, given the announcement that came in the offseason from TSM themselves. This is potentially their last playoff run you're ever going to see, and they are one of the most historic orgs in North America. A lot of those big runs that they had coming with Hauntzer or WildTurtle in the lineup. And so it's really cool for them to start this postseason off on the right foot, go to a game 5, potentially start with an upset, and give the fans one last final hurrah for them to go out on to, cap off this amazing organizational accolades.
Yeah, and a lot of it comes down to kind of experience and how comfortable you are in a game 5. They have Turtle and Hauntzer. They've been there many times.
They've been there, yeah.
They have a lot of games in playoffs, and I think in general, just confidence is key, and I think that they're coming off the momentum as well. So I think TSM Game 5 is going to be very aggressive and very decisive, and I think that's what's worked for them so far. Bugi leading the early game, and then kind of everyone else balancing out in the mid game. It's going to be a winning recipe for them.
You see Hauntzer right in front of you. Like, the point that you made about their experience throughout interviews, hearing that Hauntzer has taken that role as a leader, like as a vocal person, that if he feels like there's problems, like, he will make an effort to really mend it and work with the team. Like, that means something, especially in a best of 5, where you need a little bit more band-aids within the games to patch up problems, because you're not going to have a big powwow.
Yeah, and I think the other cool thing hearing from this TSM team, too, is that they felt like that gave them more momentum in terms of, like, maybe this is TSM's last chance. Expectations are low within the community, and we feel like we can kind of shatter those. So we're essentially playing incredibly freely. And that's not to say that they haven't put in effort, because they've also been working really hard, right? Like, we heard about their kind of monster scrim schedule, but they've really taken that and kind of run with it.
And on the other side for EG, Jojo is the only first-team All-LCS. He's had 2 amazing Ahri games, 2 bad games as well. He got camped in Game 1, shut behind. Yone was not it in Game 4. So this team goes with Jojo. If he has a good Game 5, I think they take the series.
All right, we'll see if TSM can pull off the underdog upset or if Jojo can shut it down. Let's head out to Kobe and Flowers for the final game of the series.
Thank you, everybody, and welcome back. It's time for game number 5. It's been a battle here all afternoon in the first series of our Summer 2023 playoffs. One of these teams is about to earn their spot to stay in the upper bracket, and the other one is going to the gulag.
And the best part is, they've already shown us the gulag. Like, the action this whole series has been nonstop from both these teams, and I do credit a lot, especially for Bugi, creating so many openings there for TSM, especially early on. Some of the games that EG did win were the games that they were able to answer that action and rise to the pace of the game and respond with a lot of kills on their solo lanes. And the games that they lost, they did not get those kills. TSM beat them out in the team fights. Let's see if it will be a case of number 1 or number 2 this time around. Thought TSM's plan of banning out the Ahri from Jojo, which looks to be by far his most comfortable champion, he has relied on it a lot, is really strong, because even if Jojo goes to one of his other comfortable champions, most of those are melee, and then EG end up being really melee heavy, which you can run the Rumble into, you can run all this AoE into, and makes it much more difficult for them to actually play it out.
We saw the Yone get punished last game. Jojo was not finding what he thought he would get with that pick. So the Ahri being banned away again. EG putting some respect on that Rumble. Even though the first time it got played, that was when it was up against the 18-kill Jax. You pointed it out last game. In both games, he was so far ahead in the laning phase. Revenge is down 30 CS both times. They don't want Revenge to have to deal with that.
Yeah. I mean, imagine it. With so many people trash-talking Hauntzer in the top lane rankings, he's drawn 2 bans here. Game number 5 of the first playoff series.
That's
both the
pretty good.
Renekton that has been perma'd as well as the Rumble now. Meanwhile, Jojo drawing a couple bans himself. The Jace has also been perma-banned. And the Ahri following. Let's see, will they round it out with a third? They probably will just be happy to trade the Xayah Xayah again, I feel like. Okay. Yeah, they ban out the Rel. The Rel and Rakan combo was actually more devastating than we have seen the trades, as far as both teams having some pretty good priority on the Xayah Rakan.
Well, TSM's happy to run back that Tristana. Insanity wanting to pilot that one again in the mid lane. We've already talked about how much he enjoys playing these marksman mid. Rakan locked in, Xayah left up, and they lock in the Sejuani for Sheiden. I think EG has realized now, we've played 4 games, 2 of them with Poppy, and 2 of them with Sejuani, and we only win the Sejuani ones.
Yes, I like the trend emerging here. Good analysis. Poppy now working out so well for Sheiden. And so, yeah, they take away the Sedge. Bugi had some really good engages last time around, so it's a good denial too. But TSM gonna deny of their own. Okay. They split up the Xayah Rakan combo. Xayah has been played with a lot of different supports nowadays. It doesn't have to go with just the Rakan. The Rel, which was banned out, has always been good. But any of these engages that you can keep people down for the Blade Callers, Maokai works as a jungle or technically a support too. Has been flexed into support here, but since you're in the 1-2-3, when you early pick a Maokai, that is one of those god tier ultimates along with like Alistar that Jojo will just always throw down this Sylas into. Really, really good ults for him to steal. Plus, it being one of those top 3 champions for him over the course of his career. That along with the Ahri and the LeBlanc as the mainstays.
I mean, as soon as I see the Maokai locked in, I'm thinking it's a Sylas angle, because we've seen multiple players take it into the Tristana matchup. You're talking about how good the ulti is to steal. It's very effective with Sejuani because it's a melee mid who's able to stack up that passive. There's so many reasons to pick it here. I love seeing that one get locked in for EG and for Jojo there in the mid lane. As now, where are the bans going to go here in the second half? It's Jax banned out by TSM. EG getting rid of Renata. We know how Renata and Maokai work together, stacking their ults. You have to clump up for Maokai's, and then Renata just runs you over with hers. Set banned out too. Some respect put on Chime's support.
Hey, it was good, yeah. I'm sure there were a lot of doubters out there for the set last time around, but Chime looked quite good on it. And it is a champion too that even if it came from support role, still makes it hard for melee heavy teams. And that was one thing I mentioned early on in Evil Genius's drafts. Oftentimes they are very melee heavy, both because Jojo and Revenge really prefer those melee solo laners. And see what EG round it out with here as far as the bottom lane goes. There were some recent buffs to Kalista that make it a little bit more enticing, but not going to go that quite just yet here. Still, the old reliable, the Aphelios, once again.
They're not only locking in the Aphelios, they're leaving the last pick as counter pick for Revenge in the top lane. Not surprised to see that one. They did focus the Renekton and the Rumble of Hauntzer. They wanted to get those off the table. So I'm curious what TSM's going to go with here for that top lane, because, ooh, the Braum locked in for the support role there.
That is some very, very good counter engage. That makes life hard for melee heavy teams. Braum, definitely difficult for Sylas to play into. There's a lot of peel here for TSM for their double AD carries. The Maokai, Braum, and Ornn is a massive, massive front line with so much CC, and the brittle procs increasing that as well.
One of the concerns, though, is when you look at the threats on the side of TSM, it is double AD carry, which means it's purely physical damage.
Oh, the
and
buffed
Revenge
Aatrox!
slams down the buffed
Now,
Aatrox into the Ornn.
I've been waiting for this all series long. I said it in the game number 1 because I was hoping we'd get to see it, but Aatrox is Revenge's most played champion over the course of his professional career, and it just got those AD scaling buffs. So I want to see if he's going to build the full offense Aatrox that has been terrorizing solo queue on the patch. Duskblade even for the full DPS. Since he's playing such a beefy frontline, probably don't want to go too squishy here for yourselves, and you want to be the kind of god, heal, leeching, drain tanking Aatrox, because there's so many melee champs, but it is actually quite juicy to play him into. And so both teams pretty melee heavy, with TSM having the double 80 carries, of course, though. So it's going to be on those double 80 carries to be able to navigate these very dangerous waters where there are a lot of engage options on the side of Evil Geniuses.
They're going to need some armor, Pen Man. That Sejuani is going to be stacking armor, and a little bit more armor on top of it. Not a ton of AP damage coming in from the side of TSM. But Turtle on the Xayah, Insanity on the Tristana, the double AD carry threat. Lock it in for Game 5. Let's do it! This last game decides which one of these two teams gets to move on in the upper bracket. TSM and EG go in the distance to kick off the playoffs here in summer. Man, I was hoping they were going to walk further and we were going to get some level 1 madness.
Yeah, I like how the crowd got a little nervous too, quieting down. Ooh, are they going to go in? No face check. I do like this positioning though, because oftentimes when you have a Rakan, you'll have a Rakan go over this wall and W, and you'll try and make some like level 1 play while the rest of the team comes around from the other angle. But they're not going to take the chances here. EG don't want to risk it in the Game 5.
Yeah, that's the thing too. This is always one of the funnest parts about going to best of 5 play from best of 1s, is you get to ramp up the tension from each game from the previous one. Game number 5, everything else that got you here, man, that don't matter. It's all this one.
Exactly. We've been playing all day long just for the result of this game.
Yep.
Right here.
All those wins you got earlier, you lose this one, they don't matter. Going to the gulag anyway.
Exactly. All right, so the ward over the back of the blue buff. At least we'll see blue quadrant here for Bugi, assuming he just does blue quadrant clear, but could do the other side if he wants. Meanwhile, it is going to be the bottom side start for Sheiden, so he'll be looking up towards top side potentially, as the Aatrox here for Revenge. We didn't have too long where Aatrox was pushed out of the meta for the buffs. Bring him right back in.
Eyla and Unforgiven with the Aphelios Rakan combo. Rakan's been really important throughout this whole series. Aphelios making his first appearance in the series in this game. Turtle on the Xayah. I like when Turtle can play a champion like this that gives him the opportunity to play aggro and then press the get out of jail free button if he goes a little bit too far forward. We know that Turtle likes to get in his opponent's faces, and the last game, the flash Varus Qs with the piercing arrows, he had his aim dialed in, so maybe we'll get to see something stylish here in this one too.
Turtle's been really consistent for TSM ever since he came back, I feel like, too. Putting in a lot of work, carrying some of the team fights, keeping them in a lot of these games. I do like the Braum pick a lot. As a support, Braum provides so much safety for your team fights, as we get a front and center seat here.
Oh, yeah.
To Jojo taking a bunch of damage here. Sylas always trading health early on with Tristana to be able to get minion waves here. So Tristana just basically beats on you as Sylas.
Yeah.
And you're trying to sustain through the early stages. It is definitely not fun early on, but later on, when you get your jungle involved and post level 6, when Sylas gets some really good ultimates to seal, you can be a big playmaker for the team. Sejuani Sylas is a very powerful mid-jungle duo.
Yes, sir.
As is Aatrox Sejuani. And currently, it's a fully finished clear for the Sejuani up towards top side. Should just be top Scuttle Crab picked up.
Yep.
As Jojo finally has to use his teleport, soaking up enough damage so far.
Sheiden's got the one camp advantage over Bugi. He did stop for his Krugs, whereas Bugi skipped him. So Crabs are going to get split 1-1. Bugi taking the one on the bottom. Sheiden up top side, as you already mentioned. Revenge has the wave pushing up, so Sheiden can't easily make a gank there onto Hauntzer, who still has plenty of health and mana. So even once he's forced under turret, I don't see any kind of a dive happening unless something goes really wrong. Eyla with a nice knock-up on Chime there. Unforgiven can follow it up with a very small amount of damage. But oh, Hauntzer went toward the brush. Now he's got to be careful. Nice buffer there with a Bellows Breath to escape some of the CC. Flashes away from the Q2 to stay safe.
Ooh, that pressure will mount on the top side. Revenge is going to have a very, very good time once again in the isolated matchup. I think it's going to make it difficult now for TSM because Maokai can't really turn that matchup at all the other way. So Hauntzer is in for a bit of pain. Maokai seen on this ward on bottom side. And, you know, the Ornn into Aatrox matchup, already not easy, but now no flash on the Ornn either is going to be kind of a punching bag here.
Yeah.
Considering if you bring a tank jungler along with a tank top laner to attack an Aatrox, then you're kind of both just sweet spot Qs waiting to happen. Revenge has a big wave, but no jungle support though, as Sejuani has reset down to the bottom side off of the earlier play.
Hauntzer doing a good job sidestepping the Q2 there. That's the one that has the biggest hitbox, so it's most easy for your opponent to hit it when you're trying to play against the Aatrox. Usually when you're up underneath the turret, the Q3 is the one that he has the hardest time using because of the short range. So Revenge just wants to try to get this shoved up, try to keep the pressure on the Ornn. He does have a nice CS lead here, but Hauntzer will make up some of that by farming this wave, as Chime is doing his best to hold these minions here. We'll be able to farm that one up, and Turtle doesn't end up missing out on anything.
All right, teleport back to mid lane as well now finally for Insanity.
This is the slowest early game we've had so far today. It's 5 minutes in and we have no kills.
They're lulling you into a false sense of...
Yeah, bait me in.
No,
I hope so.
No,
I want PvP.
Yeah, honestly though, for the game fives, you talk about the pressure mounting. Both these teams have been a bit free with some of the plays that they have called too, with how amped up they've gotten off of some of the kills and off of a lot of the action. It does seem natural that game number 5 will calm down a bit, but some pings on the mid lane. Jojo will be the target.
Bugi and Chime both coming up here. Jojo's backing away, though. He's playing respectfully enough, recognizing, hey, there's no Braum in the bottom lane. We don't know where Bugi is. I don't want to walk into something stupid. So TSM will now rotate all 3 of those same players down here to the Scuttle Crab. It just now spawns, and Bugi could be able to secure that one easy peasy with Chime right next to him, helping him out. Unless, okay, I was always a little concerned when they disrespect Don't Smite, but now Sheiden and Jojo are going in. Jojo stealing away the Glacial Fissure, but it's not going to do enough just yet. Eyla wants to find his opportunity for the grand entrance, but he doesn't get a lot with it there, so Evil Geniuses try to make the move. They end up getting the flash of the enemy support, but that's it.
Yeah, they trade a couple of ultimates here and 1 flash advantage, plus they're going to be able to start up this dragon. White-green gun's pretty good here for Unforgiven.
Yeah. Turtle and Chime are coming up, but they're about to get engaged on. I don't know what they're doing here alone like this. EG's taking the chance, jumping in. Chime is low. First blood back over to EG, and it's the Unforgiven getting the money. Jojo's down to 200. He's going to try to get away. TSM did not have the men. It was 2 walking up to 4, and Eyla just pounces on him.
Yep, they know. There's no flash there on Chime. They rush forward. Looks like it's just going to stop at that first kill, though. Insanity gets back up the mid lane, not in time for the cannon minion, but we'll be able to push it out. Eyla here, like you say, he goes right for that support. No flash on Chime. Even with the Unbreakable, Jojo goes all in. He gets exhausted. He doesn't care. Bugi tries to get a return kill, and they almost get enough damage onto Jojo to open up something for Insanity to do there, but Insanity was pretty far off of the roam, so he doesn't get to participate in that kill. He does get to participate in a turret plate mid, though, as he pushed that wave in during the reset for Jojo. So some gold gained back there for TSM, but not nearly the advantage that Evil Geniuses got out of that play.
Yeah, EG's up 1,000 gold almost just from 1 kill and the advantage that they have in farm. You can see the Aatrox leading the way up there in the top side as Evil Geniuses bringing some players over to the Rift Herald, ready to fight for this one on spawn here too. Both supports level 5, both junglers level 6. Jojo's got the ulti ready to fire off again. Unforgiven level 6 here as well. WildTurtle is still making his way up to the fight, so TSM need to make sure that they've got all their guys here. Hauntzer's at half HP. Another potential concern as Bugi and Chime want to go in. Jojo's the target. They immediately jump on him and they burst him down to the Kingslayer. Hauntzer's coming in with a massive ulti over the top, and he gets the kill back on Eyla. The Aphelios ult finds a lot of damage, but no kills just yet. Revenge taking up in the front line. The feathers fly, but Turtle's still alive. Unforgiven chases him down, and now EG's gonna grab another. Hauntzer dives to a stab in the back.
Holy! Unforgiven and Revenge put in so much work in that team fight, even with TSM 100% to zeroing Jojo at the outset. Look at these pings. So TSM ping on Jojo right now. Insanity's looking for him over the wall, and even though Jojo sweepers, he knows that Tristana's there, they still go for it. TSM, 4 members. They all burst down Jojo. WildTurtle over the wall. The jump in on Tristana as well. And Jojo's already down, but they get the counter here. Eyla also follows it up, and it's a 3v5. But Revenge flashes forward into the backline. Unforgiven's ultimate there with the Infernum did so much damage that even though they didn't kill Bugi, they didn't kill Insanity either. They forced them out of the team fight and allowed the 3 surviving members of Evil Geniuses to still push forward and get the team fight victory in the form of a Rift Herald taken up afterwards. Unforgiven is the richest person in the game, and Jojo's fighting Insanity.
Exactly. That gold graph tells a very important detail here. The money is going to the Aphelios. The hyper-scaling AD carry is off to the races. Evil Geniuses is up 2,000 gold at 10 minutes, and so much of it is right there on that carry.
Yeah, Aphelios did so much work in that fight. Being able to have the Infernum gun ready, big AoE contribution.
And Aphelios always has that extra layer of preparation before a big team fight that other AD carries don't, where you need to make sure, okay, if I got the wrong gun, give me a Wolf or a Krug or something. Let me go ammo dump a little bit and just try to swap these off. Having the proper guns for the situation can make it so much more playable, even if it would otherwise be close. Unforgiven doing good here so far, 100% kill participation. As the wave crashes into the bottom lane, Revenge will be the one dealing with that, as Jojo has been rotated top to deal with Hauntzer's Ornn. It's control over the bottom side river still for Evil Geniuses. There is a ward here from TSM to at least see what they're up to. Revenge steps forward, but he might be a little bit too far, so he pops the World Ender, but he's gonna get stunned up now. The blade
the kill!
Work! It's a kill back! Revenge is ready to win this game 5. He cuts Turtle down. Q2, Q3, easy money for Revenge, and Evil Geniuses outplay it.
Oh, hell no! Aatrox is back, baby! Aatrox is back. 3 people jump on him, and he kills your AD carry. Oh, no shot. Evil Geniuses get so much off that 2 flowers. It is Rift Herald charge, it is Dragon, and it is Revenge pumped up once again. You've got to be happy after that one. That was massive. The Q3 finishes it. Huge healing off the kill, huge healing off that one, and his Gore Drinker is completed now. So you thought he could sustain through multiple people jumping on him before. Now he's also got Gore Drinker on top of the Conqueror, on top of the Q sweet spot healing.
This is the problem with drain tanks. When you haven't been fighting them for a while, you might not remember, hey, we can't just burst him low and then finish him off. You gotta burst him 100 to 0, or he's gonna regenerate a lot of it. Revenge surviving through the attempt from TSM, and he's in such a good spot now, man. Watch it again.
Yeah, okay, let's do it. Everybody on Revenge, they hit him with the ultimate, they got him with the Sejuani passive stun too. Turtle gets the Blade Caller, but Revenge gets the Q3.
Whoa! And then the follow-up. Once his boys come to back him up, all of a sudden, TSM wants nothing to do with this bottom lane.
And if this spectator is to be believed, there's only a few more seconds left on Turtle's ult. You can't be getting that close to an Aatrox, my friend.
Yeah.
Even if you have 2 teammates on him, so much peeling there too. They had him locked up, Maokai and this Braum, but
Maokai and Braum don't do no damage, though.
yeah, exactly. Those are actually just more sources of healing for the Aatrox.
Especially now that he's got that Gore Drinker. They got to be so careful about this. Insanity versus Jojo back in the mid lane. It's Jojo with even minions to farm for both players here, and he's up a couple of waves. So the Sylas has survived that early laning phase against the Tristana like you were talking about. That's the rough phase. Now that he's gotten to the point where he can steal the ultis away, he's got the Everfrost for more effective trading and lockdown. He's feeling fine.
Oh, he's feeling good. He's got a jungler too. Jungler in
most
Raptor camp. Exactly. The most important item, the whistle to call your jungler. Sheiden though, will get scouted out now by Bugi as he sees the attempted support jungle play here. Actually, they only saw Eyla. They didn't see Sheiden.
Nice buffer from Insanity there, using the rocket jump to get away, even though he got hit by the Glacial Prison. Jojo wants to get that plate money. He'll stick around long enough for the minions to complete it. TSM still just trying to scramble to defend everything. Plates are going to fall in 10 seconds, and EG's up 3.7 thousand gold. Massive early game lead here for them.
And massive carry top potential again for them.
Oh, yeah.
Revenge earlier in this series, if you were not around for the earlier games, got the highest kills of any individual player all split long.
18
on his Jax game. 18 kills for a top laner to boot, plus a pentakill.
And you can see he's going for the last Whisper second. He knows that he's going to be dealing with Hauntzer in this side lane for pretty much the entire game. He also knows that all Ornn is going to do is stack armor, so he's immediately just rushing for some of that extra pen.
I love this on Aatrox right now, too. Is positioned as a carry as Jojo steals the Ornn ult.
Forcing the flash out from Hauntzer there. I think if he hits that second knockup and can find the follow-up damage, Hauntzer could have died, so I like the flash to get away from it. Insanity sidestepping away from the Infernal Chains as Revenge, World Ender plus flash, gets him out of the way of the roots, but now it's 4 TSM players coming in trying to stop him. Hauntzer can't complete the TP. He tries to use Bellow's Breath to get away, but EG has enough damage to bring him down. Revenge gets back out over the wall, but Turtle's ready to flash follow. Revenge wants to turn it around yet again. Q2 for heal. Come on! Dashes away! They just can't kill him!
Oh my god! You can't even say the captain, never mind. We're not gonna even try and catch Revenge again. You weren't even close, let's be honest. Flashes over the wall, dashes over multiple walls here, over the red buff, over the Raptor pit. They sent everybody at him, Flowers, and they had multiple flashes. That was an AD carry flash. That was multiple frontliners flashing to try and catch him, and he's teleporting down for another fight.
That could have been in a Trick 2G video back from 10 years ago, man. That was Aatrox's wild ride. Insanity gets away from him in the bottom lane, but Revenge is cruising this game. Take another look at how
we're gonna watch this again.
Caught him.
We saw this the first time, okay? Oh my goodness. He flashes, and like you said, with the World Ender, he's able to get away from the 3-person, but then Turtle's lying away. Surely they'll have him, right? Surely, Flowers. Chime flashes. Turtle's gonna flash up here following him too. Did Bugi flash too? Yep, Bugi flashed also. So that was Chime, Bugi, and Turtle all flashing, and the ultimate, and the exhaust. And I don't care. Thanks for the tower.
Yeah, he just kept dashing again and again and again, knowing which walls to go through too, never making any of those oopsie dashes to just run you into the terrain.
Yeah.
EG plus 7,000 gold, 16 minutes in. This game is looking so one-sided.
That's one of the ones where you didn't kill anybody, but you just demoralized their whole team. Jojo might kill someone.
Jojo in the middle of everybody uses Buster Shot to knock Insanity away and then jumps right back in on him when he tries to re-enter with the rocket jump. Bugi's gonna go next. He's stuck in the middle of everyone. Turtle doesn't have the damage to punish EG as they continue pushing forward. Double kill back over to Revenge's Aatrox. Yeah, Hauntzer got a turret on the other side of the map, but EG ain't done yet. Sheiden's coming in on the Sejuani. He's gonna be the one who wants to tank the turret. Throws out the ulti, whiffs it. Don't matter. Chime's gonna be the last one to die up here, and everybody not named Hauntzer now has a tombstone. Double kill over to Jojo. EG's bulldozing him.
Oh my goodness. We actually get to witness some top carry games today, Flowers. Evil Geniuses are steamrolling this one. Over 9,000 at 17.5 minutes. And another dragon picked up here. And it just begs the question, what happened in 1647?
Man, what happened with NA tops? We were talking about NA mids earlier today. NA tops showing up in this one. We had Rumble games. We had Aatrox games. We had Jax games. We jump back to live only to see Jojo smacking Insanity around again. This game is practically lost before 20 minutes for TSM.
Yeah, I love this for Elda is always on Aatrox too, because your Q3, you can really catch people. You know, being able to hit them with the slows, guarantee the chains. Jojo now, let's see how he handles the side lanes. Looks like they don't want to risk it.
Yeah, the Aatrox, I mean, if you're Ornn right now, you are not having a good time. You're pressing tab and you're just like, man, I wish I didn't press that button.
We were kind of joking earlier, but not really, talking about all these melees on TSM side just being sources of health for Aatrox. because those are just easier ways for Revenge to leech back up.
Yeah.
The Ornn, the Maokai, the Braum. Not very fun.
They're
for them
summoning
to
up
play.
that Herald here in the top lane. The tier 2's under pressure. Unforgiven and Eyla coming to join Revenge and Sheiden. Hauntzer leads the charge, but he only finds Sejuani. That's not the right target. EG's gonna punish him for it. And again, they make them learn the hard way. Jojo versus Insanity down in the bottom lane at the same time. The Herald's gonna charge into the tier 3 back at top. Jojo misses the abscond abduct. Insanity's putting bullets in his back, but he won't be able to kill him. However, it's not the point. The inhibitor's gonna drop. The Herald charge will get it done. The Shelly is still alive. Are they gonna get this thing all the way to the damn Nexus turret? Turtle wants to stop it, but he can't. The Nexus turret dies, and Revenge is exhausted, but he just walks it right back off. Eyla with a grand entrance into a battle dance just to escape back to his team. Inhib at 19.5 minutes. Nexus turret at 19.5 minutes. Evil Geniuses at a 12,000 gold lead.
And Revenge having the series of his life here. With the Jax game followed up by this Aatrox game, they have full control of the entire map. Even though Jojo wasn't able to get the 1v1 on Insanity down on bottom side, some good little sidestep from there from Insanity.
Yep.
Being able to dodge out on it, it still doesn't matter. EG control the entire map. Baron is now going to arrive. They've been waiting for this.
Yeah, they don't have to wait much longer, man. And I don't think there's any reason to wait on starting it up either. TSM is going to have to try to answer this. EG knows it, and they're ready to punish.
They might just try and get objective bounty somewhere else too.
Okay.
Like side tower here is pretty low. Maybe they could get themselves some gold and then just try and defend inside base, because if you walk out into EG vision towards Baron, it's honestly a death trap here. So yeah, they make the call. They're going to send everybody bottom.
Yeah. Well, Jojo's down there to stop him. He's going to try to prevent this turret from going. Fires off the stolen Ornn ulti back into Hauntzer. A teleport's coming in from Revenge. TSM's got to have at least 4 guys to win this 4v2. Revenge leading the way. Q3 onto Bugi. Throws down the Infernal Chains. Flash coming back out from the TSM jungler. Revenge trying to get himself away from the second part of the Ornn horn. Q3's going to find all the targets. 4v2, and they're losing the fight. TSM has no damage, no chance, no hope left in this game. EG just massacred them, and they're going to take the series.
Well, well, well. Unforgiven gets to finish the game all alone at the Nexus. Pose for the selfie here.
Man, oh man, Evil Geniuses in what I'm pretty sure is the fastest game of the whole series, 17-2, takes down TSM in Game 5.
Aatrox is back, baby. New patch, new me.
Aatrox with a capital A, both of them. The dude was running the show.
Man, that clip of the escape from bottom 2, oh man, that is rage-inducing for the side of TSM. They spent so much trying to catch him. And the work put in, what a good 5th pick there. Seeing the amount of beef balls on the front line.
And he piloted it. Great. TSM just couldn't answer. Honestly, though, a good performance for the 6th seed going up against the 3rd seed. Most people overall were predicting this to be a 3-0. 3-1s were the kindest prediction anybody was really giving them. But TSM taking EG all the way to a Game 5. Hard stomping the first game as well. And EG proved that they had what it takes in the clutch moments to move on.
Yeah, definitely an exciting series. TSM made it way closer than people thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Pushing it all the way to game number 5 here. Some good looks for them, certainly, and definitely still have some hope too. This is not an elimination match of playoffs. There still is the lower bracket for TSM.
It's not just not an elimination match. It's a match that even though you lost, you didn't look bad in it. You're still feeling good about your chances there in the lower bracket. Here's another look at this.
Got all 3 of them.
Yeah, here comes a 4th TSM health bar. Well, all I'm saying is they should have brought 5. And you'll see them try.
Yeah, and right now, Revenge and Jojo just buying a little time. Here come the rest of them. Even with the other teleport coming in, Insanity trying to join. Oh my goodness, look at that.
This is still a full 2v5, by the way. Eyla has not arrived yet. Revenge and Jojo, kill 2. They would win this entire fight by themselves, I believe. Because even if Jojo would have died there, Revenge would have been able to kill Insanity. I actually think they 2v5 that. I'm a little bit sad we don't get to see that hypothetical.
Too many other sources of health just to leech off up there. All he had to do was not get hit with the Ornn ult. Good flash there from Revenge. Once they know they're not going to get chain CC'd, they're not going to be able to take him down. Too far ahead, too much lifesteal there, and the armor penetration.
And the slows, and the kills, the damage, the CC. Dude had it all. And now, with the series all wrapped up, we're joining Gabby and the man of the hour himself. It's Revenge for the Verizon post-game interview.
Thank you so much, Captainflowers. I had to talk to Revenge. How do I not after that series? All right, a lot happens. I want to go to the beginning a bit.
Okay.
When I saw you in the makeup room, I had the thought, this is different territory for Revenge. Coming in, preparing for playoffs in the upper bracket. You were speaking a bit about kind of your night of sleep. Can you recap how you were feeling going into this particular series?
I mean, it's been a very long week. A lot happened. I feel like for me, I was really looking forward to this game because I felt like TSM would be a much easier opponent than C9, who we would verse after. So I wanted to see how our team looks in a BO5. And yeah, so like I felt really excited. I literally woke up from my sleep so excited to play. So yeah, I mean, that's how it felt.
You're waking up at 8 a.m. before that 2 p.m. start,
Yeah.
staying jazzed all day.
Yeah, basically.
We have some monster performances to get into, but I do want to first get your thoughts on coming into game one. Maybe it went a little bit unexpected. How did you bounce back from that going into game two?
I mean, they drafted some really weird stuff. I mean, honestly, the solution mid pick was really interesting. I feel like we didn't play well around it, mid and jungle, and that made the game hard. And then we just didn't team fight well, and it was kind of like, oh, we're shaking. But I felt going into game two, I was like, okay, it's gonna be fine. You know, we're gonna be red side, and I mean, honestly, I will say like on the red side games when I was playing Jax against Rumble, it was like pretty sus early game, but I mean, I'm glad we still won, and I'm glad I had some good performances.
Yeah, you had, I think, some more than good performances. In fact, game two on Jax, 18 kills. That is most kills from a single player in a game for the LCS split, third of all time. Wow. A pentakill to finish it off. That wasn't handed to you. He tried to flash away to deny. Oh yeah,
that was weird actually. I was like, come on, bro. Like, just give me it. Your Nexus is open. Like what?
Yeah, tell me a bit about what was kind of running through your mind at that point. Not just a victory from the game, but such a standout performance from you.
I felt just really happy because it felt like finally I was looking forward for this. Honestly, the whole split too. I really wanted a performance like this. I knew I was capable of it, and it's just I've just been waiting for it, you know? So it's just nice that it can happen in playoffs.
Yeah, on that note, I do feel like you as a player have been very in tune with the narratives around you, right? You've been outspoken about, I want to prove that I can perform on tanks as well as carries. I want to prove that I can be this great player and not just one that people talk about as, oh, he could be good. We'll see what he can do. Do you feel that the narrative has evolved now with the split on EG so far from the regular season? Where's your mind at in terms of the way people are talking about you and your individual performance?
You know, I had to work really hard on Immortals because we did not have, you know, we had a lot of shortcomings, and it felt like it was really hard to, I guess, prove I'm a good player in those splits. And I think toward the end, I finally started to get some recognition, and that felt good, but it was never enough for me. Like every year, my goal is to go to Worlds. Every year, my goal is to win LCS and do well in Worlds, you know? So those goals were never achieved, and I hope that people finally realize this year our team can do it. And everyone who keeps saying, oh, if we camp Jojo and play him down, this team's gonna lose, can actually go fuck themselves.
I do want to allow you to kind of bask in that energy for a moment because it wasn't just the Jax game. It was Aatrox there in the end.
Yeah.
We were wondering what would come out on 13.14. Clearly, you're fired up about what you were able to do playing through this top side. In fact, you got player of the series because of it. So with kind of this pressure to prove yourself, what does that mean to you to be a standout as a top laner in the series in playoffs?
I think it means a lot, and I'm happy, but it's also like, I want to look at this series and look at our mistakes and hope that we can prepare well against C9 because they will be a much stronger opponent than TSM. And as much as these wins felt good, it's like, I hope this is like the wake-up call we needed to be improving even more for C9.
Do you feel that you're somebody that kind of is driven by like an anger in a good way or something? I feel like there's some fire behind you right now. It's happiness, but also that kind of just locked in laser focus going forward.
I mean, it's like, I've just been waiting for this, you know? And this is like my best chance. I want to make Worlds and I want to play in New Jersey. So it just feels good to have the chance.
Any last words to the fans that have been cheering you on and are making sure to give you that energy to carry through the rest of the bracket to achieve your dreams?
Thank you guys, I appreciate it. But I heard the TSM chants, okay? I heard them a lot. I'll just say, hey, you know who you are. But yeah, thank you guys so much.
And thank you, Revenge, for joining me and your honesty here on the stage. What a performance from you and the squad today. And what a series for everybody that watched at home. 5 games at that. I'm sure the lounge has lots to say about it. So let's kick it on over towards them.
I don't know if we have a lot to say about it, but hopefully Jojo and Unforgiven have a lot to say about it. Thank you guys for joining us and congratulations. Jojo, at the top of the day in your Player of the Week or interview, I have to bring it up. You said 3-0 unless we kind of poop ourselves. How would you rate that prediction now in light of the series?
I mean, it was true what I said. Like if we played normally, this would be a 3-0. But I think I played bad the first and fourth game. Like I played pretty bad, so we had to lose those games. So what I said was pretty true. Like if we play bad or I play bad, you know, if we don't play how we usually play, then it would be close. But if we play normal, how we usually play, it would be a stomp. So I guess today it wasn't a stomp. We played bad, but at least we still won. So it doesn't matter.
Would you agree with that assessment, Unforgiven?
Yeah, I agree. This guy did not play good at all. The dive was completely again.
The dive?
You played good at first game.
I know, I played great first game.
Yeah.
We're going to be running through some highlights as we go through. One thing that I did want to point out for this series is that you guys had the fastest best of 5 that's gone to a full 5 games, which means your wins were really quick, including the 21-minute game that closed out the series. But your losses were also really quick. So what do you think that says kind of about your team overall?
I mean, for sure, our losses, we could have stalled it out. I think in game 4, the Baron Cole is bad. And I think if we just kept playing how we usually play and we don't rush anything, I think we would have won later on for sure. We outscaled them and their comp was really bad. So I think I just tried rushing too hard that game. And the wins, they were like, that's how the game should go, you know? Like that's how the matchup of these teams should go. So it's like normal, I guess. But the losses, yeah, I guess we rushed too much.
Yeah, and when I was watching the games and also casting, I felt like patience was like the key for you guys. Yeah. When you guys were not patient, you guys just go for really aggro plays. And you could hear it in the comms as well. Like when Revenge was split pushing bot and you guys were like, oh, we're diving top, go. It's like, wait for me to take the tower. It was kind of like hectic. So when it looks like when you guys get it together, you guys play really good as a team.
Yeah, if we get it together. If we don't, then I mean, we look pretty broad.
Then it's a disaster, yeah.
But I guess we know it, right? If we know it right now, I mean, it's an easy fix, so, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much you have to add, Unforgiven, on like any of this. How do you think like you performed today, and just what was your preparation going into the series against TSM?
My preparation, like, I didn't feel like I really had one personally, but
just play well.
Yeah, you have to play well, play good, and you hope you win.
Basically.
No, but like I feel like in the game, I just existed, like farming. Yeah, that's all I did.
I mean,
I feel like I didn't do anything.
I mean, I was thinking you guys could get a bigger lead on bot. I felt like a lot of the games you guys were just farming and then...
Bro, my bot is so scared, bro. They just shit on them. Like, just go 30 CS, bro.
Man, I was hoping for like plus 20 CS, at least 3 plates every game, but it didn't go that way. At least you guys had good team fights, I think. I remember your Xayah when you didn't ult Lissandra ult. I thought that was not very good.
Oh, at mid lane?
Yeah.
Bro, you should have heard the calls, bro. He was spazzing out for like 5 seconds. We couldn't focus after, but it happens.
Yeah.
It happens. But other than that, I mean, I think like besides our really obvious mistakes, really bad mistakes, we played well. If we just cut all that bad mistakes out, you know.
Only looking at the wins, you guys.
Only looking at
the wins. Yeah.
Exactly. The player of the series, it's already been spoiled for you, and teleprompter is Revenge. Yep. So you both agree with this assessment as we look at some of Revenge's stats?
I mean, he did solo carry the last game, like, so, I mean, it has to go to him, you know, carrying game 5, and he played well the games we won, so, yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was kind of between you and him, Jojo.
Yeah,
But
but
you had your Yone game.
Nah, he doesn't
Then
deserve it.
the stocks went down completely after that, so it had to be revenge.
After the first game,
Bro, I
like,
was winning so hard too, but I don't know. I just lost my mind. Like, I don't know. I need a ban, but it's fine. It's fine.
I feel like I have to ask about the Yone pick. That when that came through, like, I guess what was your mindset? Were you just like really feeling yourself? Because you guys had initially hovered the victor.
I mean, my mindset was the complete opposite how I played. I knew Insanity couldn't punish me in this matchup in lane, so I would just farm well and like just have Shobi CS and just have 3 items really early and just carry the game. But we just kept fighting way too much, and it was the opposite of how it came out because the laning phase was really good. Like he couldn't breathe, but I don't know. I just got too impatient.
Yeah, like you forced his flash and TP, right? And then he was kind of in a bad situation.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, they would just kind of snowball on you.
Yeah, because with my lead, I could just take over the map and just farm everything, and I would just be Shobi that game. But it happens, you know, I guess.
As we look through, obviously these are Revenge's Jax highlights, but you talked about how Revenge kind of hard carried the last game as well on the Aatrox. Was this a pick that you guys have prepared? Because I was actually curious if we would see it on this patch, given the buffs he received, or was it just like Revenge was like, pick me this, it looks pretty good?
I mean, we knew Aatrox got buffed, but I mean, it was situational. Like that game was really good, and they blind picked Ornn, so he was really confident. He's like, just give me Aatrox, so we just gave him Aatrox, and he did that. So yeah, it wasn't really prepared, I would say. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Unforgiven, I did want to point out, obviously, Jojo got first team All-Pro mid, but you got third team ADC. No, just like coming into the league, it feels like you felt like you had a lot to prove, right? Because you felt like you could have easily started last split, but were in Academy. So just how has that felt? And how would you evaluate your performance, not just in the series, but like across the split?
I think I've been performing like quite okay, but I feel like I could have like performed way better. And about the All-Pro, like I'm not surprised I got it, to be honest.
Oh.
I mean, I expected like it to be a bit different, but I kind of knew I would get at least top 3.
Yeah, I mean, I think in regular season especially, you played with a lot of pressure. I think that's something I liked from this series, from bot side from you guys. You guys seem to be okay, like handshaking, whereas I think you guys have more pressure if you want to. So I think going to next series, that would be probably my focus or my advice for you, because I know you can do really well. I think you're a good AD carry, so just gotta show it.
Good, I like that.
Yeah.
That was good. Good.
Yeah.
That was good.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us. We're gonna take a look at the playoff bracket before we sign off. So now that TSM have lost to you, they will drop down to the lower bracket and play their elimination match against Dignitas. And then tomorrow we have TL versus NRG, which I do want to get both of your opinion on it, just because both TL and NRG are such volatile teams. Who do you expect to come out on top?
I mean, I don't even know. Like, NRG, they just lose against the like when they lose so bad. It's kind of like us, and they also lose to the worst teams, but they beat the better teams. So, and TL, I don't know. I mean, I think they're not too good, but NRG's not too good either. But
so it's just 2 bad teams.
No, they're not bad, but they're not good. Like
Okay.
they're not like top. They're not like the best in the league, but they're not the worst. You know, they're like middle of the pack. So I think it's just whoever plays better on that day, whoever has better prep, honestly, will take it, in my opinion.
Who's the worst bot lane to face of the two? Between NRG
Who's
and
harder?
TL.
Oh, I was gonna say treats, but
What? But I'm already out, bro. We
In the bot
2-0
lane.
NRG, so.
I mean, like from the stage games, I feel like NRG spot lane is a bit harder to face.
Okay.
But I feel like the times I played against Yone bot lane, I know he's way better than what he's actually playing against us.
So he's just a choker?
He's
or
choking
what?
against you.
I don't know if
or-
he's choking, but maybe he's choking against us.
I think
we're
you're
just
just
having
too
a bad
good,
day.
yeah.
But
He's just choking against you.
Like, I know this
Yeah,
is
like,
better.
just get scared, maybe?
Yeah, I think that could be it.
But I think we like FBI, like this guy can just get a pentakill randomly.
Yeah. You also have to get a pentakill then, like.
No, but he can leave bot lane and just get a pentakill and then.
Is that good, bro?
Yeah, he's the GOAT.
Indeed.
All right. Congratulations again. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Good luck going forward. That is it for us today, and we'll be back tomorrow at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific with TL versus NRG, like we said. See y'all.
Peace.
Yeah.
Ayla with the flash pull, the Turtle's in danger. Massive engage coming out from EG, but a bigger turnaround from TSM. EG don't have the damage, and TSM just got themselves a bear in hand delivered on a silver platter.
He's in bed. Nice, guys. Good boys. Hey, don't get too cocky. Don't get too cocky. It's only one game.
A double kill back over to Jojo. He'll see if he can find some more. Turtle and Hauntzer trying to kite it out, fight it out, but it won't work, man. Revenge and Jojo are finding the damage. And just lost all 5 men. Revenge gets a triple. Revenge gets a quadra. Where's that pentakill for Jax? Somebody sound off.
Give it to him.
Won't give it to him. EG's gotta chase it down. Revenge! Pentakill for Jax! Boom! Evil Geniuses ended in style. Evil Genius is jumping in. Jojo's not going to find the first charm, but he lands it onto Hauntzer instead as Bugi's stuck in the front line. The burst comes through, and the jungler's already down for both sides. WildTurtle has to flash away. He doesn't have the DPS uptime. Unforgiven lets the feathers fly over the wall. It's a double kill. It's everybody but Insanity dead. And TSM just lost the game off that one. Jojo's ready. Chime absorbs a lot with the haymaker, and now Jojo's going to burn. Hauntzer's in the mix, and he's mixing up Evil Geniuses. Insanity jumps in with the rockets, and a vengeance is following Comrade. It's a 3-for-1 for TSM. Hauntzer nearly has the equalizer. The cooldown is just about to be ready now. There it is. Not quite what he needed to kill Eyla, but he's got the flash for the follow. Jojo drops 2, and TSM's gonna give him something to smile about. The TSM jungler Revenge trying to get himself away from the second part of the Ornn. Q3's gonna find all the targets. 4v2, and they're losing the fight. TSM has no damage, no chance, no hope left in this game. EG just massacred them, and they're gonna take the series.